If you guys are together for a year and you haven't said it, break up. You're right. Like, break up. That's crazy.
I was telling a story. Like, I was with a guy for a year, and I was just waiting for him to say I love you. I knew he did by his actions, like the way he high-fived me after sex. But Chris Redd is here, everyone, from SNL and the movie Popstar, which is my favorite comedy movie in the past decade, I would say.
And it's such a fucking funny stand-up.
And
I swear, it's dope.
Well, Chris Redd, you're killing it on SNL, and
dude.
it's like,
hey, man.
Kanye. Oh my god.
Just because you're on SNL doesn't mean you're gonna kill it. We've seen so many times people come and go, and I remember when you got it, I was just like, I hope he makes a splash, and you certainly have. I mean, you are going to have such longevity on that show if you want it, and in your career, you've always been talented, but it's just so nice to see you just really people acknowledging it, and you. What is it like being over there? Are you still frightened every time you walk in the building? I mean, it had to have started that way. Were you like so intimidated?
I wasn't really intimidated by Lorne or like the show. It's just really I learned how much anxiety I actually have, which is crazy because there's so much pressure to it. Then there's like the people that get to have opinions about your work all the time. Yeah. And I wasn't really used to that. But I'm very curious too.
Do you mean Twitter or producers?
Every internet, everything.
Do you read that shit?
Yeah. I'm an insane person, bro.
I do
like,
too. It's hard.
I try. I know it's not good for me. I just still
doing so much. I'm surprised you have time to even see it.
Bruh, first of all, if you're on the show a lot to people, it's only 3 sketches, right?
Right.
So the rest of the time, I'm sitting there watching the show with everybody else, and I'm just on Twitter, seeing what's hidden, seeing what's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like being on stage. It's like, you know, when you hear those laughs, you're like, oh, I know this joke's working. Like, that's how it feels. Like, because every Saturday you're trending, unless like there's somebody on there that no one knows.
Right.
Then you're like, and then it trends after the fact, which is weird. But you can see exactly how things are hitting, like immediately. So I'm like all interested in that.
Do you like that, or are you like this is
I kind of
bad
like
for
it
me?
and kind of hate it. Yeah. I know it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, but I kind of like it when it's going well.
But it's like overwhelmingly positive, though, right? Like, because you're killing it on there. So then,
but it's like everything else. I focus on the one guy.
I do the same.
The one egg,
Flappy Ball Sack 72. You're like this motherfucking egg avatar.
I let it go though.
I was in a bad place when I made that account. Okay. I was a little jealous. I feel like that show's never acknowledged me or even asked me to audition. And
I think it's bullshit. I bring you up all the time.
Your Kanye was fantastic, and that was an easy role to do. How did you prepare for that?
Well, they told me I was going to do it on Friday.
Wow.
Friday morning.
That's great because it's like I only have this amount of time. I can't overthink it. What do you do?
When you just do shit like that,
do you start Googling? Do you just start watching videos?
Well, I'm like a huge Kanye fan, and so I have this very complicated like feeling about Kanye now, or have for a very long time, and so I was just like listening to the music, and which I was already doing, and then just watching that meeting a bunch, like, and kind of seeing where his points were and like how he felt and his intensity, and just trying to match the things that were fun for me to do. And I just had to watch it over and over again to the point where I was like, you know, he's not wrong with everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's when I knew I was in it. And I was like, all right.
Well, so you were able to become him when you were able to empathize with him a little bit and see his perspective. So it wasn't like, let me just find a way to ridicule this person with my impression, but let me try to be him and see where he's coming from. And attack that impression from that.
100%. Like, I have to understand. I have too much empathy for everything. So that's just kind of like a thing I get from my grandma, like, and my mom's. You know, they pass that shit down. So I care about things that are really weird. But yeah, for me, he's a rich guy that became like this headline guy. He's like a kind of a like he wants to bring the world together. He's just doing it wrong, you know what I mean, and doing it the way a lot of us don't agree with. But everything he's saying wasn't crazy. Like stop and frisk is like a thing we need. You know what I mean? He's always been that way. He's just been more informed in how to do it. And now he's just, you know, he's like, you can't say, oh, I'm on the side of the guy who has kids in cages and like this, but this is fun and we should do this. Like, you gotta read more.
Just feels like he wants to be subversive too. I don't know, like he wants to make headlines with stuff.
Yeah, he wants to be that. It's like ego with good ideas and then like no reading. You know what I mean?
And bipolar disorder that's not being medically treated at the time. He's not taking his meds.
Yeah, he's not on his he's not on his medication, but he also lies a little bit, so you don't know what he has and what he doesn't. So.
Well, let me ask you about when you're actually working on an impression, was there a nuance in his voice or a way he said a certain word where you're like, I'm definitely going to say that word because I can really nail that? Like what?
Yeah, he has this thing where he tries to hide his Chicago. But then it comes out when he gets excited. So that growl, like that very like that guttural thing. He tries to hide it because he's talking to white people. So he's like, so he's trying to like not hide it, but then it comes out anyway. So it's like watching two people fight in the same throat.
Was there a line you especially loved saying because you were like, oh, do you slip when you're? Because sometimes when I'm doing an impression, there's a moment where I'm like, I really feel like I'm them. And I can only hold on to it for like a second sometimes. And it frustrates me, and it's hard to maintain it. How did you maintain it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on it. I've done the impressions maybe 2 days old.
Yeah.
But it's when he says stuff like time. And those things I can dive into real well. I like playing with that, and just like anytime he just gets too hyped, it's like that's because that's the energy that he puts on to the all of his albums, and that like song Kanye I can do even better than I can do like.
You know what's fun to say is him is hurry up with my damn croissant.
Hurry up with my damn croissant. Yeah. I love that. I want to make a song as him next to help me like hone that shit more. But
what album were you listening to get?
Oh man, I was listening to old Kanye.
Yes,
which I listen to most of the time.
Yeah, Dark Twisted Fantasy is just so perfect.
It's the perfect album. That
amazing front to back.
I think it started the Kanye that we see though, because he put all of his issues on that record and people praised it. So then he's like, oh, no, people praise my crazy, and then that's just like I don't know, man. We could talk about all day, honestly. But I do think like once he started putting his weird thoughts on record, you know what I mean, New Slaves, all that shit, like Yeezus. We started just like, we like you when you're crazy. It's like, oh, well, I'm just going to be crazy with something else that you don't agree with.
I love you.
I thought it was dope.
I think it's great. I think it divided people.
I thought it was a mental
breakdown.
The
first dividing line.
I thought it was a breakdown over beats, but I also thought it was a genius thing,
I love
it.
You know, it came up in shuffle for me yesterday at the best time. I was working out, and it was Kanye's workout plan.
Oh, I love that.
That song is so fun.
When those strings come in.
I love it so much.
Jesus Walks is one of my favorite.
Yeah,
oh my God, it just makes you want to
Yeah, it was like right around the time where hip hop was like, don't talk about Jesus and God on hip hop. And then Kanye was like, I'm gonna do it. But he's been the same guy the whole time. You know what I mean?
Like, don't press the red button. He presses the red button.
Exactly. He's just now choosing the one side of things that's like pissing people off. But that's always been him. You know?
Yeah.
You just wish he just, read a book of some kind. No, honestly, it's not even.
What book would you recommend? If you could come up with Kanye's
one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Red fish, blue fish. That's the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And if you
any book,
any book by any author.
So what has been the most unexpected part of working at SNL for you? We would all walk into SNL with like, I think I know what this is going to be. I've read the books. I've heard the interviews. What was the most unexpected thing for you?
The most unexpected was how cool Lorne is. Like it's like he's like an OG, and I'm used to like old school like gangster types. And he's very much that. He's a very nice dude. And there's like a lot of other things that like he just knows there's so many stories about him that he's like, you can't stop them all.
That's a great Lorne.
And so everybody has their like good version of Lorne. I thought I was gonna get fired so much for like, and I realized that wasn't like, you're not gonna get as fired as much as you think you are, but also you could. So
also
you definitely could.
Yeah.
And then
you know what I saw? Did you see Lorne on Norm Macdonald's show?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. No.
I really recommend watching it because I've always thought of him as someone to fear, and I'm just like, this guy just seems mean for no reason and just like stuck up, and there's never been a part of me that's like, I can't wait to meet Lorne Michaels someday. He just seems like frightening.
Yeah.
But he is so sweet and funny and soft.
He was
and
like that on WTF,
so cool,
too. When he was on Maron's podcast, I was like, oh, it's not what I thought.
It's not what you think.
He's
so that
dope.
is.
Yeah, he's a dope dude. And he runs like a super crazy, powerful business, which is like dope to watch and be a part of, I guess. But and the crowd, the stage, I thought it was going to be a lot like bigger and a lot more intimidating, and it's not.
When I've been to SNL, the one time I went when Amy hosted, it felt like going to see my friend in a play in high school. That's what it felt like again. It gave me that same like, oh my God, I can't believe my friend is it. But it's like watching a play.
It definitely is.
It's so fun.
So cool.
It's so crazy. Now the cold open was nerve wracking, like crazy, because I knew what it meant to the show. And I'm playing alongside Alec, who I know is going to kill it, and right in front of me. And I'm like, oh, man. And so I'm just hoping it was – and nothing felt good until live. Like, live, dress rehearsal felt all right because I knew where the laughs were. But, like, live was when it was like, oh, okay. I feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you have reached this point now where – as comedians and as artists, we always just think we're tricking everyone to thinking we're talented, and we're like, we've tricked the system. I shouldn't be doing this right now.
Right.
But when you get on SNL, they make so many good decisions, and they have a track record of making great decisions. Do you, at that point, go, okay, I am good?
Yeah.
Like, this is validating enough to be like, I should be here right now. I'm going to come out and nail this. Does it give you that sense
that imposter syndrome has started to slip away a little bit. Because at first it was very much like, I'm a student of the game, and I'm just learning how to move in this, you know what I mean? And now it's just like, okay, now I'm just going to try to figure out what I want my legacy to be, just try to up myself every time and come in here and just try to kill it and bring what I bring to the show.
Yeah.
And, I feel way more comfortable. The second year is just like, breathe. So anybody coming into the show, man, just get through the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're straight. There's going to be hard years. I've seen people have hard years, you know.
Yeah.
And they tell me all the time, you're here for some good times right now.
Right.
You know, I wasn't there when Trump was there. So there's a lot of things that happen. You know what I mean? Like, the show could go anyway, anytime, which is something I like about it. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the imposter syndrome thing that I always go back to, a therapist once said to me, she was like, who do you think you are that you're tricking everyone? Do you think that these people are stupid? And when you're on SNL, you're dealing with Lorne Michaels he's made the smartest comedy decisions.
Right.
And so it's like, if you were able to trick him and weasel your way on
right.
If Lorne Michaels picks you, it's validating of like, okay, I am talented.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you got that because you are. And
Thank you so much.
it's so exciting to see you become famous and like dress better.
You
just
dressing
look
better is, like,
richer.
so important.
You look rich
Oh
now.
my God.
You walk into a club and I'm like, Chris Redd's rich, or at least successful.
I'm just wearing the same clothes for so long. People aren't used to seeing me in new shit.
It's true.
I know.
No,
I can't wait. My friend gave me the shirt.
You know one
you
thing
just
about
know
the show.
when someone's on SNL.
One thing about the show, it's like a fashion show for some of us. Like, I want to be the flyest at all times. What? And then like Chase always fly. It's like Sam J is always fly. Gary Richardson, one of the writers, always fly. So we just kind of like we're always coming in with new shit, new shoes and shit. It's like, yeah, look what I got. It was one thing though, like people. I just assume you're a Democrat because you're on the show, which is a very weird thing. Because I'm not any of them like political gangs. I don't really care that much. I vote for who makes sense to me. But people just put you in like, oh, you're this or you're that, and like everybody on the show is not one or the other. But like a lot of the right makes it seem like I'm like a lot of things I write aren't even political on the show, fam. Like I'm just writing socially political stuff.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the shit you guys talk about. But they put you in that box, which is very weird because they feel like they're in a box. So everybody's in a box, putting other people in boxes. And there's just a bunch of boxes running around. I'm like, why are we so? Everybody gets so serious and intense about SNL, and they criticize it like I give a fuck, like. Like, it ain't been funny in 45 years. Like, well, you don't have a real picture, sir.
I can't
They've been saying that
stand
since
that.
year one.
Yeah, dog.
It was funny last year. It hasn't been funny
it's a
since
fun
75.
Show to hate. Yeah, exactly.
People are the worst, but that's the time you want people talking about the show in any way. I mean, that's what keeps it alive. We got to go to break, but I can't wait to spend another. Will you stick around?
I'm chilling, man.
Okay, I can't wait. Thank you. Chris Redd is here, everyone. We are back. in studio right now with us, Tom Takar, Ian Fidance, and Chris Redd from SNL.
Woo!
Chris, so excited to have you in.
So excited to be here. I love me some Nikki Glaser.
Oh my God, I love me some Chris Redd. We've just become friends, and I would say right before you got SNL, I kind of like became buds with you.
Yeah, I think
and
it was
then you
like
were
in
gone.
LA, right?
We were like gonna go to dinner in LA
I
together,
know,
and you're like,
dude.
I'm moving.
Yeah, it was crazy, and because we had planned to go to lunch, and then I had to move quick and couldn't say why, so I just had to dip, and and then and I was like, I feel like an asshole, like because I had so many different plans that week to like I had finally started liking LA. I finally started like finding like a friend groups that I really like to fuck with. And then I had to just leave, and then I couldn't say nothing for a week. And then,
So what'd you tell people?
dog, some people I just didn't. Well, I'm not a great text backer anyway, and several people will say that.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, no, I answer you all the time.
Yeah,
But,
you're
like,
pretty good with me.
Yeah, but like I'm genuinely like not great at it. So for some people, I could just not say anything, and then once the news came out, they're like, "Oh, I get it," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes.
But it was like some people who like, comics get like an in with me because it's usually like something I'm dealing with right away, or you know what I mean, like I'm gonna see you out, so I'm gonna definitely hit you back because you're a comic. But if it's like a regular person, I ain't got time to talk to regular people. Right. That's crazy.
I mean,
That's crazy.
well, talking about dating and stuff, it's so difficult. I've seen you on the celebrity dating app Raya.
Oh yeah, I was.
I think you're still active on there, even if you don't want to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like off my phone. Oh no, it might be still on my phone, honestly. But
that's the thing with these dating apps. You like take them off your phone, but you're still on there.
Yeah,
you have to like go disable your account.
Yeah.
If you
the
want,
way
like,
I jumped on those apps is not believable. It's very true. I did this social experiment with Moses Storm like 4 years ago. And my character it was like a half prank show, half written scripted. And so what we were trying to do is have people come to this red light that it was a text friendly light. And we would have, so it lasted a lot longer, so people can get their texts out. So the whole thing was like my character was like the serial dater. So I jumped on all the apps to like get people to come to this street so we can like fuck with them at this text friendly light. And then after that I just stayed on all of the apps because I just didn't really give a shit. And then I got addicted to just swiping. So anytime I would be on tour, I would like see how ugly is this city, you know? And I would play that game for a while, and then I just have the app. So I'm just on these apps, and so people tell me all the time that I'm on them, but I don't really like use them that much.
I don't mind being seen on them. Everyone's like,
Yeah,
but you're a celebrity,
I
and
don't
what
care.
if people see? I'm just like,
who cares?
so.
If they see you in the world, what's the difference?
Yeah, and you can't talk. I mean, you're not like gonna meet up with me any quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just still an image on your phone that is not you. But now though with Instagram, that's how I think people can get in touch with celebrities if they want. Slide into nothing on Instagram is preventing you from sending me a message and me maybe seeing it.
I've met more people off of Instagram than any dating app, dog.
That's the way.
You know what I mean? Not even for dates, just like, yo, I'm doing shows, coming to the show, whatever.
And
like,
it feels so much smoother.
It does. And it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's just like
it is the same. It's exactly the same. It's like OkCupid or whatever because you don't have to match with them. Like you just met. You can just reach out and message people.
Yeah, I like the other day Padma Lakshmi slid into my DMs and asked me to do a show that she's putting on in Brooklyn, and I was like, I can't believe Padma. I would have like missed her message had I not gone to that weird folder that has the other ones.
Oh, I go to the other ones all the time. Oh, the other ones is like
and
good
you look
name
for a blue
it.
check.
Yeah.
The other ones.
Yeah.
You look for a blue check so that there's someone that's like important and rich. Not rich. I don't care about money, but I'm just like you do, or you look for someone to say something in those first couple lines because all you can see are the first lines. Or you try to look at the tiniest
Is it worth it
avatar
for
to
them
see
to know I
if they're
read this?
attractive.
That's so funny.
Yes. But that's the new way everyone is meeting each other, including like celebrities, whoever. I think that Instagram's the new dating app. But I don't mind. Did you go on any dates from dating apps? Have you ever been on one?
So I went oh my God. I went on one from Bumble. And it was this girl who was like I met, but it took us about a year to actually go out because I was on tour.
Right.
So, and every time I was back in New York, I only had like a day, and I was like, yo, I'm not gonna like
with
rush
a stranger,
around.
right?
Yeah, like that'd be crazy. So like at the end of this summer, actually, like when we went out on a date, and I took her to Soho House, right? And
are you a member?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yo.
Will you take me sometime?
motherfucker.
Of course.
Or will
That
you just
place.
recommend me?
Anytime.
Great.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Dude, we did that show
It's super-
there.
Yes.
I felt like they were going to kick me out afterwards.
I know. You had I don't be in Soho House energy. And I love it.
yeah.
I love it, dog.
Yeah.
No, but that show's awesome. That show's always pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah.
How long have you been a member of Soho House? And for those that don't know, Soho House is just this like exclusive. It's just a cool place to go hang out, have meetings, get work done. There's a gym, there's a restaurant, there's apartments.
Wow.
It's just a place you can go. When you go there, you pay full price for everything. But to be a member of it, to even be able to dine there or get a drink there or have a meeting there, you have to pay I think it's like $3,000 a year
it's like
to be a
city
member.
country club or some shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
It is.
Kind of. Yeah.
It totally is.
But like I would go to the one in Chicago and do shows and the one in LA and then they were like, yeah, if you do one more show for us, we'll make you a member. And so I was like, kind of like that started
It's
like
like
a couple
a
years ago.
stamp card at a fucking coffee shop.
Exactly. I was like, oh, okay, damn, let me get my FOMO stamps.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I got to Ludlow, Yasmin was one of the directors over there, or still is, and I did her show, and she was like, yeah, we got to make you a member. I was like, yeah, I want to throw shows in here because there's not enough black people in here, so I want to throw more shows, and so that was kind of like the goal. It still is. So now, I take advantage of it a lot. Like I love that spot because it's like very low key and
What a great
chill.
date place too. So you brought this girl to Soho House.
Yeah, and we had these drinks. You know, the drinks are amazing there, and we're sitting there, and I'm like just getting to know her, and I'm realizing she doesn't ask any questions, and she's like, I don't really talk. Everybody
this girl
says
was
I'm
so hot.
mysterious,
No.
and I'm like,
You're boring.
What?
Oh,
You're
boring.
the most boring person I've
You're
ever
boring.
met in
How
my life.
hot was she though?
She
I
was
mean,
kinda- she's kinda
so hot.
To get
No,
away with
there's
that
been hotter though.
personality.
Like no, but she wasn't that. That's the
Really?
thing. Is she wasn't that banging where it was like, come on, bro.
Right.
You gotta
right.
have some opinions about something.
She was acting like she belonged at Soho House, but she's only
Yeah.
living at Equinox.
She sounded like a prototype of a person from Soho House.
yeah.
Like, she sounded like she plugged herself up before she go to bed. That's what she sounded like. Just like a robot.
Right.
But I was like, so what do you do? She's like, I'm like, just men just talk and you just listen the whole time. She's like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, that's
you a
stupid.
hot
I don't want to do
therapist?
that.
That works
outta
a
here.
lot for I mean, that's a technique that I've read about in books where it's like how to get a guy. It's just listen. Don't talk. Shut up.
Yeah, she was trying
You
to.
can shut up once you're in a relationship, or you can start talking once you're in a relationship, but shut up before then because
I
men just
hate
want to
that.
talk
Like,
and be heard.
Please don't cosmopolitan article me, lady. I don't need this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I want to talk to a person.
I already have 10 ways to get sexy abs.
Yo, for
Sexy
real.
abs. I have gross abs.
I have gross
Yeah, that's a bad date. So how did
Did she know who you were beforehand?
Oh, I think she knew me from Disjointed, and that's what took me a long time to even go out with her in the first place. Because it's like I don't want to.
Right.
Why?
Right.
What are you in Disjointed?
I play this weed head.
Oh, okay.
But like people just I don't know like
They
people.
assume you're like your character.
Yeah, and so or I want to talk about that the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
And they
it's
don't
like,
know
I
you at
don't-
all.
At all.
Yeah.
Like,
They
it's
just know you from TV. Like they just know you as a character. So
Yeah.
that's not you.
And so it's like a weird energy. I just don't. Yeah. So it's sometimes it's very weird. I knew she was gonna be weird going in, but I had a free night, so I kind of wanted to see what it is because we had kind of been putting it off for a minute.
Yeah.
And she was like kind of fun to talk to on like back and forth texting every now and then. Like,
Yeah, sometimes you get someone who's a good texter, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "Why are you such a dud?" And
Yeah.
do you want to? We should just text
This
each
is
other
why
sitting across the
I
table.
say get off the app as fast as possible because then you
Yeah.
find out. Because some people will waste your time texting forever, and then
Right.
you're like, "Oh, this was such a waste."
Yeah, I hate the apps. Although I did get recognized on Grindr. So that's
you got recognized on
yeah, from a torso.
That's insane.
Picture of a guy's torso, and he was like, "I'm
It's
a
like
fan."
I like to
was
think
like,
it's not
I'm
the
a
guy;
fan.
it is just his torso became
Yeah, yeah,
sentient
yeah.
and
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
started a
I
Grindr
bet
account.
you've been recognized from Grindr before. I bet that's where most people are seeing.
You're that guy who asked how my butthole was doing.
Yeah, dude. You butthole checking them on me, fam?
Right. I can only get recognized from this. From fucking glory hole.
Glory hole face.
Yeah, glory hole face recognition.
Glory holes are so disgusting.
It's so disgusting. It's such a crazy concept.
It is.
To put your most precious item of your
hole.
body in a hole that you don't know on the other side.
Fear of intimacy.
Yeah.
That is literally the most unintimate thing you can do.
I know.
Completely
It's like
blocked
what
off.
you want to do though, where it's like a guy in a mask
I'm so
or
into
whatever.
glory hole porn because
Yeah.
I'm scared of intimacy.
You're into glory hole relationships.
A glory hole.
Yo, wait, why?
I like all the porn I watch. I have to say it's like a woman being used in like a by a guy who's like they're why do I like glory hole? Because the woman's just like a
vessel.
hole. And she's not like a person, and I don't want to be not a person, but I want to disassociate. Sex for me is so weird, and it's just so I have to disassociate to engage in it because it is so you're like naked and you're like,
and also you're
You're
sober, so you're aware of
yeah,
everything.
I'm sober.
This is
Yeah.
an
Like,
intimacy thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Drew was
She
right.
fucks like Elaine dances.
I kind of do when I'm squirming around.
I like the maracas though. Like that shit's dope. The maracas.
But sex is so weird. I mean, sex, it's so strange that you can be at dinner with someone having a conversation at Soho House and then cut to, like, boom, you guys are naked, like,
Inside
for
of each
the
other's
first
bodies.
time. Like, it's so weird.
It's so dope.
weird.
So it's,
It rules.
love
of
it, man.
course, it's
Sex
so great.
rules.
Yeah, sex
But
is pretty cool.
To get to that place when I'm
Sex is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Whose dad is this?
Yeah.
Sex is pretty
So you guys
pretty
like
fly.
sex?
Hey, you kids having sex? Or?
Yeah, you know.
You guys doing intercourse?
You know, I had sex once. Right, son? Right, son? Ew, Dad.
you know, I was always so fascinated by
I'll show you the pictures.
before I hooked up, and I was like a late bloomer, so like all my friends were hooking up before me, and I was always so fascinated by how do you go from like doing nothing to doing that, like,
Yeah.
And you
what
can't
is
ask.
the
You
transition?
can't ask because
You
then
can't
you're
be
like,
can we have sex now? Like there's got to be
Yeah.
a move. Like I'm so uncomfortable with that transition. And whenever my friends get prostitutes, I'm always like, do they walk in and comment on your sconces and then they take off all their clothes and then they're like, how do you move?
I
from
always
just
ask
being,
them if they
"Hello"?
want something from 7-Eleven.
Do you
That's-
really?
Yeah, and then I bring them like a Red Bull and like a snack.
You leave them alone in your apartment?
No, I go to them.
Oh, you go
I
to
don't
them
have
and you
them
bring
come to
them.
me.
That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
do with my Uber drivers when they drop me off at 7-Eleven. When I like make them stop, I go, "Do you want anything?" So
Oh,
it like
really?
makes them feel better, and
Oh,
they
that's
never do.
great.
And sometimes when they do, I go, "Really?
Yeah.
I have to buy you something now?" I know it was an offer, but I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
The transition is fun. It's the fun
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
your
that
what's
is
your
the- that
go
is the
to?
exciting part.
Can we give people listening some tips? Because I think that there are some. That's a lot of people have anxiety about that first moment. What's your first move? What's your go to?
Well,
But do it as Kanye.
Yeah. First of all, I do it as Kanye.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a move, but it is like it's like a tell, like when you know it's going down. Like, hey, you want to go back to the house and chill and watch a movie or something. Like that's a very standard old way to do it.
I did
Yep.
not know that meant sex.
No.
For so long, I was sitting and
also
watching Almost Famous.
Also have a movie ready, fam. You gotta have a movie. Don't just go there like lights out. Like
Yeah.
You gotta go through the motions like you don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's the genuine way to do it.
Like, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. Like I don't even have a TV. You know?
Or an apartment.
Yeah.
All right, load up your phone.
Anyway, get in that box. You know. That is kidnapping.
It's a Netflix gift card
That's a-
dangling.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The just come back to my apartment. We all know what that means. Like we're having a good time. Let's keep this going and go somewhere
And
private.
the time makes sense too, right? Because if it's like 1 a.m., you're like, yo, I don't want to stop hanging out.
Yeah.
Hey, that's kind. I guess that's where it initiates. I don't want to stop hanging out, but if you gotta go home, I can take you home. And then like depending on how the energy is, right, is kind of depending on if you.
What about like I went on a date with a guy not too long ago, and we didn't know if it was a date or not. It was like friends hanging out, and then we were at dinner, and then we were like, let's go walk over here and get dessert. Now let's walk over here and get tea, and then it got to a point where it was like, okay, and he didn't ask me over, and we're just standing on the corner. I'm calling an Uber, and I'm like, are we going to kiss? Like, it was so awkward. And then my Uber shows up, and I'm like, bye! And I just get in a getaway car, and I run away. There could have been a moment where he could have kissed me or like something, but it was too awkward for us to both handle on the street.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to make a move.
I make a move. I don't wait for.
Yeah, I've been into making the move. It feels good.
Yeah,
and then but I've gotten rejected before.
Getting rejected is a part of the game.
Yeah, that's the risk.
But I can take a no really well, dog. I take no's real well. Like, no, all right.
I was just kidding.
Dude, one time I got rejected, and I pulled up a kid swinging and missing at a t-ball game. It was like, look, it's me.
Okay, that's
how I responded to that.
I moonwalked away. I did. Because it's funny as hell. Why not? I'm
like, the joke about that, right?
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I moonwalked. Fuck that shit.
So great. Just do the robot. System shut down.
Yeah, I always go to comedy.
Disengage.
If that's just so she don't feel weird for like making a decision she has every right to make.
I don't think I've ever had a guy go in where I didn't want him to. I think I'm very good about putting out the energy of like, don't kiss me right now if I don't want it. Like, I just give them no.
You've never had anybody try where you're like, oh, I didn't want to do that.
No.
Wow.
No. I think I'm pretty good at, not to say that women who do have guys that try to kiss them
they're asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you guys, maybe you should be better about putting it out there that you don't want it.
Yeah.
But
change your outfit.
There's an energy though. There's definitely energy.
My favorite energy of new relationships is when, oh my gosh, yes, Dr. Drew is back.
Hell yeah.
Getting a selfie. Look at you, cutie.
I forgot to do that.
Oh, I love you. The best energy ever is when so say Ian and I were like hanging out at a show or something, and we're sitting next to each other, and like and we're not even on a date. It's just like a guy I'm sitting next to that I'm like, oh, I could be into him. This has happened to me recently, and I love it. Where like you'll accidentally touch, but then you won't take it away.
Yeah, I love those moments.
Yep. I love it because
I love those
that's all you need.
You know,
Super
if I wasn't
subtle.
into like Ian, I could do like this because he's my friend. But if I wasn't into a guy that is just my friend, or just someone that I would never be, I would we would touch and I would instantly be like, oh, that's that our space. But when you just leave it and they leave it and you go confirmation, like that is.
And then you're like,
or when you're your whole arm, it's not even just a point on your arm where you do your whole arm is flush with them, and it's like we have all the room not to do this right now. That is the hottest thing.
So that's what's fun about like figuring out where people stand, how you feel about somebody. Those little moments, I love that shit.
But seriously, get away from me.
Yeah. It's making me uncomfortable looking at it. I was like, do you need help? Just like, this is making me need help.
Or like if you are like saying hi to someone, and the other night there was this guy that I had some like energy with, and so we were saying hi, and he was shaking, we were greeting everyone, and we just kind of like that, and I kind of just like held on a little bit longer to be like, hey, and you just give little indications like that.
That's what you were doing to me. I get it. Yeah, I like you, Nikki.
I may have done that to you.
Here,
but
you sit here and redo that.
I love those little things, but I will say the best, and I give this advice to every guy who doesn't know how to make a first move, the best first move I've ever had pulled on me was on the street, one of those like we're both going our separate ways. Is there going to be a kiss? It's the end of the night. And when I was just kind of like staring at the ground, he just goes, get over here. And he just grabs my wrist gently and kind of tugged me. And it was like the
but
hottest
he said
thing.
it like it was in Mortal Kombat.
You gotta get over here.
You gotta go in confident.
What are we doing? Like he goes, just get over here. It was just the way. I really recommend that move. It's so hot. It's aggressive, but not too aggressive. It really is a perfect move that I recommend.
Oh, and then when you come too fast, you go, whoopsie.
Yeah. You gotta do that because life is comedy and Mortal Kombat.
Chris Red, you were so great. Thank you so much for coming in on such a short notice.
Is awesome, man.
You're so funny and so fun, and I can't wait to watch you just get more and more successful.
Killer stand-up.
Thank you so much.
If you haven't seen Chris Red in the movie Popstar, please watch him in that. He's a breakout star in it, but that movie is so good. I recommend it so much. Of course, watch it on SNL.
I got shows at Caroline's tonight through Saturday.
Hell
Come out and hang out with me. I'm talking all the shits.
You have to go see Chris Redd live at Caroline's this weekend through Saturday, starting tonight. Chris Redd, thank you so much. Ian Fidance, how's your butthole?
It's amazing.
Great.
What a
and
great
Tom
show.
Zakar, I love you.
I'm
going to be in Philly all week. Come to shows. Please come see me at Philadelphia Punchline. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching that clip that you just watched. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. If you did, thumbs up it. Why don't you subscribe? Why don't you just keep watching more videos? Let them play. Share with your friends. Go share on your Instagram story. Go just have a great day.